We rejoin the conversation now for part four, the final segment of my interview with Dr. Josef Urban. We've talked a bit about mathematics and the applications of combining AI and machine learning and mathematics. I wondered if you could speak a little bit more generally to what do you think some other opportunities are, and let me know if this is a fair question that's sort of outside what you've been doing recently. Is what are the possible applications for combining symbolic and machine learning AI technologies to address problems beyond mathematics?
Well, a quick thing everybody will probably point out is software and hardware verification. So software verification is the sort of most correct, the most formal software verification is basically using the same proof assistant technology as mathematics today, the same systems and interactive theorem provers are used to verify that a C compiler is correctly implemented, or that an operating system microkernel is doing what it should be doing, that it, for example, has some required separation properties, like one user doesn't see the data of another user, right, or whatever. So you can go arbitrarily complex with verification of bigger and bigger systems, and people are really pushing the boundaries today pretty much. Like they are verifying full software stacks. So for example, there has been created a group at Amazon Web Services, the Amazon Automated Reasoning Group, led by Byron Cook, and they have people like John Harrison. And John has been verifying the secure layer communication between browsers, for example, because like Amazon is doing a lot of business over browsers, right? So you don't want it to be hacked. Or the operating system verification that has been partially sponsored by DARPA, like they don't want their UAVs or their helicopters to be hacked and taken over by somebody else. And like verification of a C compiler, right? Like everybody wants their compiled code to be what they wrote in C initially, right? So these are really very complex projects to verify, and when you want to do the formal proofs of these say verification conditions, you have to do a lot of theorem proving, and sometimes the theorem proving requires quite a lot of invention. So a well-known hard problem in software verification is called like the loop invariant synthesis. So you have some while loop, and now you need to show that basically there is some precondition before the while loop and some post condition satisfied after the while loop, and you need to come up like what is the thing that is preserved, what is the invariant that is preserved during the while loop execution. And that's quite similar to proposing something like inductive proof. You need to come up with some like inductive hypotheses, basically. So this is clearly a thing where some AI/reasoning combination fits very well, and people are working on that. So I would almost say that it may be that the programming language community today has done more work than the sort of formal verification community on investigating various machine learning methods, because it's such an applied area, and many more people understand programming than formalization, right? So that's one clear example of where you can have this marriage of AI and symbolic methods. But people also try stuff like physics. So Mike Douglas, who is a string theorist, he is sort of targeting invention of physical laws, for example. So you have this old work by Pat Langley on the Bacon system, where he would be sort of by symbolic methods inventing the Kepler laws from the data. And you can try it today also like with combination of symbolic and statistical machine learning methods. So physics is another big target. And then obviously you can even have people like you, right? Like the common sense reasoning people, and the, I don't know, like you would hope that, for example, legal reasoning, like John McCarthy has this dream when he encountered the Mizar system long ago. He dreamt about the power of initiativity, like some student proposing a fix to a buggy American immigration law by doing a pseudo proof in Mizar or whatever, right? So you can go further and further with the crazy ideas that you could try, and some of them are sort of being tried.
Yeah, it does seem to be often the case in science that studies and advances occur in sort of better known or better formalized or more closed systems, and then they wind up being promulgated and applied to the more rough or difficult or real world systems that we face. So
absolutely.
if all these advances can occur in mathematics, and then we can learn how to apply them to understanding and debugging law or politics, that would be a really tremendous achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the mathematics, like you say, it's in some sense it's really very closed, nice, walled off area where you know that you have these axioms and the inference rules, and you if you find a contradiction in the axioms of set theory, you are famous. So people have been really debugging these things for decades or centuries, and typically formal math would be free of contradictions and still big and non-trivial. Like obviously people make mistakes when they formalize stuff, like they could make a wrong definition, but that's somehow taken care of by the formalization systems. Whereas, for example, what you are doing, like you know it much better than me, right? It's so much messier, right? Like you cannot control humans with coming up with contradictory axioms about reality. Like we are all very contradictory beings, right? And then using classical first order theorem provers or high order theorem provers becomes hard, right? Like you have to do something more difficult, like using modal logic or high order logic, etc., to sort of get around these contradictory things. Like you have to say Adam believes X and Joseph believes not X. Now what is true, right? Like, so yeah, you are totally right. Math is sort of easier to do, and we can hope that if we will do non-trivial things for math, then they will be also applicable to these much harder domains or messier domains.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. And maybe this is a good place for us to wrap up. This has been a really fantastic conversation. And certainly if your both groundbreaking and foundational work in combining symbolic reasoning with machine learning can make big advances in mathematics, and then the rest of us that are working in these fuzzier domains can learn from that and take that research and solve our problems, you'll really have a tremendous life-defining achievement in the work that you're doing. And so we're very grateful for the work, and also very grateful for this very stimulating conversation.
Well, I'm very grateful. It was been for the questions and for talking to you. It's always always good to talk to you. And also, I would say it has been great fun to do research with you in these messier domains. So I don't know if the viewers know that, but for example, one of the first non-learning premise selection system has been motivated by your knowledge base, right? Like my student from long ago, Christoph Hodder, did this project that he called the sumo inference engines, which is today like a standard part of the best automated theorem provers. So absolutely, like I'm very happy to work on all these things, and hopefully also to transfer them to your domain.
Great. Well, I look forward to doing a lot more great stuff and having a lot more great conversations together. So thank you, Joseph. This has really been a lot of fun, and look forward to talking to you a lot more in the future.
Okay, thanks a lot, Adam. Talk to you later.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.